So, what to look for when you're dating younger women when you are yourself in your 40s or 50s? But you don't want to date girls your own age because, well, they might be a little bit too old, a little bit too boring, whatever. We know the reasons why you don't want to date older women. You want to date women in their 20s. Now, you're going to start dating them and you're going to run into a few problems. It's not just societal problems and judgment. There's a lot of problems with the women as well. And so I want to discuss these problems with you as someone who has dated, I don't know, 200 women or 300 or something that are younger than me in my 40s, that are in their 20s. So let's discuss this in a little bit more depth. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. So, you're in your 40s, you're an older man, even in your 50s, and you want to date a younger woman. Now, some of the things that you should be looking for, that's probably the best way to phrase it. Now, okay, so you're on your first date. Okay, you're lining up your first date, you're texting her. If you have taken my 30-day challenge or done some online coaching with myself, you've probably met her in a mall or on the street, or you've met her shopping at lunchtime. You might even have met her in a nightclub, and you've got a number and you're now lining up a date. So, sometimes the girl, before you meet her, will ask you to pay for a taxi. Now, this is not always a red flag, but the majority of the time it is a red flag. If she doesn't feel guilty about you paying for her taxi and she can't do the travel herself, she cannot handle commuting to the date location, and she wants you to pay for a taxi and book it for her, and she's not apologetic in any way, she just expects you to do that, that's a red flag. Now, you can still book the taxi and you might still get her to stay overnight, but it might be because she knows you're older, she's aware of her value, she's in her 20s, and she thinks she has a little bit more leverage over you. That's never really going to end well for you if that is the case. Obviously, there's different situations for different women and different guys. It's not always the same. I shouldn't have to say that. There's nuance to everything. Each individual situation is different, obviously. But on average, it's not just the taxis. It is dinner. It is paying for anything. If she doesn't even try to pull out her purse, or she doesn't even look like she feels a little bit weird or a little bit nervous or a little bit guilty that you're paying for everything, she doesn't even acknowledge that in any way, then that's a red flag. That's a really bad sign. It's not a good sign at all. And you should take note of that and look for more signs later on. So this would be, let's just say, the first date. You're paying for things. She doesn't feel guilty. She, in fact, expects you to pay for things. That is because she thinks that she is younger and more attractive and you're a little bit older, so therefore you're supposed to pay for everything. It's not a deal breaker at that point, but it's a data point that you should take on board. It's a data point that you should be aware of. 1. Now, 2. Let's just say you did go out to dinner and one major red flag that I've seen a few times is she'll sit down and she'll grab the menu and she'll just start picking a bunch of things that she wants without consulting you, and they might be some of the most expensive things on the menu. Now, if she picks up the menu and it is literally the cheapest thing on the menu, and she picks one of them and maybe asks you if you want to share it with her, and she's aware of budgeting and not overspending on things, then that is something that's kind of like a green flag. That's she's aware of the budget. She's considerate of you not paying too much. And it's not that she's worried that you can't afford it. It's not that she's worried that you're broke. It's not that she's worried about those things. It's more about she's aware that making you pay for things, and she's not in a relationship with you. You've only just started dating. She has some empathy for your budget, your spending habits. She's aware of that. That's a sign that she has some sort of empathy and cares about you a little bit. But if she pulls it out and just ignores you and just, starts ordering whatever she wants and starts doing whatever she wants with the menu and, ordering the most expensive things, it is a red flag. It is a warning sign. One of the most extreme ones is she might even order something extra to take away as like a doggy bag for the end of the dinner. That's a major red flag. So it's like spending habits. And then I'd say like a third one would be, does she take responsibility for her own, not only her own transport, herself, simple problems that she can solve herself to try and facilitate the dating with you? It's not just the transport, it's not just eating, it's not just everything else. It's a bit noisy over there. I was just checking what's going on. If she's considerate and doesn't expect you to just solve all of her problems for her, so that you guys can date, then she's kind of showing that she's going to contribute, she's going to be a part of this is going to be kind of 50-50. But if you are there to solve all of her problems, I need this, I need, I don't know, I need some pads as an extreme case. That's happened on a date once. I need some pads. I need this on our way to our first date. Can you get this? Like, she should come prepared. Maybe a fourth one would be, she turns up and you can tell that she didn't really try. There's no lipstick, there's no makeup. She didn't even really dress up. She didn't even really try, and you can kind of tell that she didn't really try. When a girl just puts on a bit of a lipstick, she puts on a little bit of a skirt, she tries to dress up a little bit. Like you can see when they put in 50% effort. When they put in 100% effort. They turn up in the little black dress and the high heels and the lipstick's on point, the hair's on point. But sometimes they'll turn up in baggy pants and a jumper. Maybe even some flip-flops or some clogs or something. You can tell that she didn't even try. Now, that's also a red flag. So let's just say you got to pay for a taxi. She turns up in a baggy jumper looking awful, and she picks whatever she wants off the menu. When we're stacking a whole bunch of red flags here, warning signs that you should be aware of. I think if she is genuinely interested in you, you should, especially as an older man, you should be fully aware of her contributing and trying hard, being aware whether she's actually putting in an effort. Because there are a lot of older men that just they think to themselves, she's younger, she's what I want, I'm going to do all the effort. She's only 21, so she's childish. No, there's no excuse for a lot of these red flags. All of these women know how to be considerate. They know how to treat you with respect. But they're deliberately not doing it. They're signaling to you deliberately. Whether they're deliberately testing you or not, but it is disrespectful, and it is also, she's in a way maybe testing to see how much you will tolerate and how much she can extract from you and use you. And you don't want to be put in that situation because you're going to get used. Don't allow yourself to be a doormat. You got to stand up for your rights. You got to stand up for who you are and show some self-esteem, you know? And also, if you don't stand up for yourself, then what you do is you make it worse for the rest of us. You see? You have to put in your effort for the manosphere, the rest of us men. And if you allow yourself to be a simp, a doormat, be used on dates, well, she's going to take that bad attitude to the next guy she dates if it doesn't work out with you. And you're going to negatively affect the pool of dating for the rest of us. And we call those men simps. You don't want to be a simp, do you? Especially if you're an older man trying to get a younger woman. Now, I get it. You might be thinking, I'm a lot older than her. She does have a lot of leverage. This is the hottest, youngest girl I've met all year, so I want to put in a lot of effort to try and keep this one. That's not the problem. The problem isn't this is the hottest, youngest one that you've met all year. The problem is you don't know how to get enough girls that are young and hot so that you can date them. That's the problem, obviously, and deep down you know that. But yeah, sure, you're working, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Maybe you're working on a Saturday. Maybe you're really busy. You got to do your tax this week. You've got all these obligations with work. You still got a career. Got it. But that doesn't mean there aren't strategies out there to make sure that you can put yourself in front of a lot of young, hot girls on a regular basis. If you got one this year, what if next year we're able to get you one every month? It's very doable, and it doesn't matter what city you're in. You don't have to be a passport bro. That's just cope for the losers out there. You're a passport bro. I can't get laid in Sydney, London, or New York. No, these guys are just losers. They just can't get girls that are younger than them. They just can't put themselves in front of them. They don't have the ability to. They don't have the skills. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the mentors, they don't have the experience, and these are the guys that are paying for OnlyFans, these are the guys that are paying as simps, these are the guys that go to the red light districts. And you can't change them. Even if they're career men with a lot of money, they on average have low IQs and can't think out of these problems. But I'm hoping that you're different. And so hopefully this video helps. Look for those red flags. And sign up to online coaching with myself. Highly recommended. Definitely can get you. Let's just say you're in your 40s or 50s and you're living in a first world city. That's where I did my training. I didn't start traveling until my mid-40s. I was doing all of this in a first world city before I started traveling anyway. And so I know what it's like. I've got the knowledge and the ability to help you to get some leads, get some solid leads of girls that are in their 20s when you're in your 40s and 50s. But anyway, look for those red flags. Look out for the rest of us out here. Don't be a simp. I'll see you guys next video.